Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 24. And sorry if my voice sounds quite a bit off. I was at the Sens game on Saturday, and yeah, I almost lost my voice just cheering for the boys. So I'm not gonna sound as enthusiastic in this episode, but I'll try my best to get through it as much as possible. But anyways, in last episode, we had a pretty solid off season. We re-signed a lot of our players to some 8-year contracts, which were absolute steals. And we're up here to start year 5 with probably our best looking team yet. And hopefully it only gets better from here on out. But the big thing that we have to do, obviously, to start this episode is to re-sign Alan Lehman, who came off a 40-goal season in his third year, or his second season, my bad. So I'm hoping that this guy obviously continues on his trajectory, because he looks like he's going to be a very good power forward for this team. So we are probably going to be locking him up here early on for another 8-year deal, and that will go alongside some of the 8-year deals we did this off season, like Alan Stajan, for example. Or Aiden Stajan, my bad, not Alan. I don't know why I said that, probably because of Alan Lehman, but Aiden Stajan, yeah, he got an 8-year deal at $1.9 million, very good steal for him. And then Sharov's on his 8-year deal as well at 1.875. So there's a lot of guys on this team already locked up for 8 years, which is kind of good, because that way we have that depth at least, and also that good core that we have on our team. We also drafted boys who hopefully should help out our defensive core in terms of assimilating a little bit better this season, because last year it wasn't the best, but it is going to be probably trending in the right direction. You can see with like Kolsnick getting better, boys there now, and he could get much better, and also Dimitra. Also, these like guys that like Mayer, Emlyn, and Palin are not that bad. Palin's very close to being on his way out though, which is unfortunate because he was here in the beginning, but soon enough he'll probably get replaced by guys we draft in these future episodes. So anyways, before we get into the year 5 season simulation, let's go through some comments and see what you guys have to say in from last episode. So the first one is from Nick Bucker Barons OC, who says, "Boys looks like the type of player who could end up being good in takeaways, hits, and points as a defenseman." And then he also says, "Puts up like 15 goals to 25 to 35 assists season. That type of player, he looks like he's going to be good shit." So your comment is a little bit misworded, and I could barely understand it. No offense there, Nick, but I do understand what you mean, just because you repeated literally about the takeaways and hits a couple times. So, but yeah, I totally agree with that. I think Boys could be that type of guy for us. I think he could definitely bring the takeaways as a defenseman. He should be able to throw some hits because he's got some size to him. And he also should bring some offense because he's got actually a pretty solid shot. Not the best accuracy yet, but he's got great shot power. He's got good passing, so he should be all around a really solid defenseman. Kind of like, I guess, maybe like a Shea Weber or a Victor Hedman. That would be a great option for our team. The next comment is from Shankly Mania, who says, "One finish approval from here. Let's go. I predict 22 wins this season." So he predicts 22 wins. Last year we hit 20 wins, so I'm thinking it's probably between 20 and 30. Not exactly sure how much we get this year, but I think if our top line does really good and we could get that depth scoring and our defensive play could improve, we should be able to definitely win around that much in wins. And then he also likes my Finnish pronunciation of Antti Roikko. I guess I had to try and do that. I don't know what is this sound. How do how you explain that sound with the R? But I just know Finnish people definitely use, like, they overemphasize the R a little bit. That's how I've at least heard it in pronunciations before. So whenever we have a Finn, I'll try and actually pronounce it like a Finn. Why not? Next comment is from Yo-Yo What's Up 1015, who says, "Dang, we missed out on Maxwell, a gem medium elite goaltender. That stinks, but glad we took Boys in the draft. Team is looking better for sure. I want to see what overall Maxwell is." And I didn't even remember about Maxwell when I was doing last episode, to be honest. So that's probably why I didn't end up drafting him, or maybe he went earlier and that's why I never even saw him. But let's take a look at what Maxwell ended up being. I don't know what team he went to, so we're just going to have to find him in the player search. Let's see. Would he have been a good player for this team? He's a goalie. Oh, Vegas. Of course Vegas gets him. Only a 47 overall, so he would have been a very big project goaltender, kind of like the one we have. But, yeah, he's already going to be in the AHL for Henderson, so Vegas already signed him to his ELC, which is pretty interesting because sometimes I find, hold on to medium elites a lot longer and then wait for them to develop a little bit more, and then sometimes they just let them walk for free. But This time around, they actually signed him right out of the draft. And then the last comment is from Flame Husky, who says, mad boys, what you gonna do when he comes for you, which is hilarious. Good little reference there to Inner Circle and Bad Boys. That song's in like NHL like 2K9 when you get into fights. It's actually pretty awesome. So yeah, I love that. Shout out to Inner Circle. That's a classic song. Just makes me think of watching Cops back in the day as a kid, and then like America's Most Wanted. Those are some crazy shows, crazy times too. Okay, so there is the comments I got from last episode. So let's give Lehman his 8-year contract extension, because obviously that's the most important thing. Like when I was looking at his contract extension, it seems like this guy's going to have all of a sudden a one crazy year, because right now he only wants a 5-year deal at 7.875. You go to 6 years, all of a sudden that asking price jumps to 11. Then you can see it goes all the way up to 12.425 for 8 years. So we are going to be spending more on him than we did with Mauricio Wilm, but I think it's worth it because Lehman should be one of the best goal scorers in the league in these 8 years. So we are going to give him the 8-year deal, and we're going to try the 85% trick, which means we are going to be trying to give him $10.6 million for those 8 years. And I think that's a very solid contract for a guy that should be able to get in the 50-60 goal range, because if he hits 40 goals in his second season, just imagine what this guy does when there's a really good roster. So I think this is a great contract, and very excited to see what he could do for us this season. The other guys, obviously, we have to wait till the offseason and whatnot to give extensions to, but very excited to see what Lehman does this year, and especially that top line. I think that top line is going to be filthy, because last year, obviously, Wilm hit 101 points on a team that didn't really do that well. So just imagine how good he's going to do with this team, probably like getting better and better. Like he could even get into the 120 point range easily in the next few years. So very excited to see if Lehman accepts his contract, and he does, which is awesome. I'm quite pleased with how you view me compared to my teammates in my position. Well, obviously you're a medium elite. The other guys are like friggin' like low top nines. I'm obviously going to give you a lot of money. But yeah, the next obviously big contract to dish out is Ahinen, and then we also have now Boys, who we'll have to give a big contract to in a few years. So we are going to be spending quite a bit of money in these early on years and giving a lot of term to guys, but I think it will help us lock down our foundation of our team going forward. So anyways, let's get to the season simulation and see how this team does this year. We have a new coach as well, I'm pretty sure, so it should be interesting to see what the team can do with the new coach. Let's see how we do preseason-wise. Last year we had a 500 preseason. This year looks like we might finish around 500 as well. A little bit below. 3, 4, and 1. That's not bad. I will take it. Let's see who led in points. Mauricio Wilm with 12 points in 8 games. Yeah, I think the top line is due for like very good season this year. Because if Wilm had 101 last year, I think he's going to be maybe 110 this year potentially, which is a very big statement if that ends up being the case. And I think Lehman could hit like easily 50 plus goals this year, and he could probably get close to 100 points, maybe even 100 points. And then Ahinen, probably setting the two of those guys up, should be really good as well. So this might be one of the best seasons we've ever seen. So at least for this top line. Let's go to January the 1st and take the season a little bit slower than normal, not just simulate it all in one chunk. I just want to kind of see how the team does in the first half of the year. We should still lose a lot of games this year, so we should still have a good lottery pick, but we might do much better than we've done in prior years. We already have 2 wins on the year, so that's a good start. Nice getting some wins in the first month. But yeah, we're still struggling a little bit here, obviously, as you can see, but we are still stringing together a couple wins early on, which is good. You love to see it. 5 wins already. I wonder if we're going to hit 30 wins, because I think our team could hit 30 wins, so I think we could do better than what Shankly Mania was saying, because he was saying at 22. I was thinking maybe like 25 plus, so we'll see if we're able to get ourselves to a 30-win season, but it's going to be a lot of work with this team, especially because the defensive core still isn't the best yet, but we already have almost 10 wins, and we're only halfway through the season. There's 10 wins, actually. 7-6 win over the Habs. Probably a lot of points from the top line in that one, my guess. And okay, so we have 10 wins in our first, how many games is that? Let's do some quick math. 32, 35 games. Not bad. Not bad at all. We just need 20 more wins, and we'd hit 30 wins. So let's go to February the 1st, take 1 month at a time just to see how we do in each month. But let's see if we can get closer to a better season than last year. If we have a worse season than last year, that's kind of a surprise, to be honest, but it is what it is. 7-5 win there too. Yeah, when we have those wins that we score a lot of goals in, that's a great thing. That means that top line is doing good, or maybe even we're getting some secondary scoring, because that's where we usually struggle, obviously, right now, is getting that secondary scoring on the team. 13, 30, and 4. I don't know if we're going to hit 30 wins this season based on that. We'd have to win still 17 games down the stretch this season, and it could happen. You never know. It could happen still. Let's see how we do in this month. By comparison, there's a win to start the month, which is a good sign. A lot of our wins we're scoring a lot of goals in, but then you can see we get blown out in some games too. Hey, we're winning a couple games this month already, and losing in the shootout too, which is also good for our points in a way. The question is, are we going to be the worst team in the NHL this year? I think we're still probably going to be, but you never know. 18-40-5 at March the 1st. That's pretty solid. We need only 12 more wins to get to 30 wins. We are very close to beating our last season's record already. I think we already have more points. I think we do, which is great. And we are actually very close to not being the worst team in the NHL, because the Preds have 46 points. We have 41. So there is a chance we could finish not in dead last if we have a good last few months. So let's go through this and see how we do in March. See if we could get a couple more wins. We actually do play Nashville here next, so let's see if we can win that one. We do, 7-3. Let's go, and there's a win over Detroit as well, and Chicago. We are at our most wins in franchise history. There's the 22 wins that Shankly Mania predicted. Is it going to stay at 22? Or are we going to be able to get to like 25 here? Ooh, an OT loss. That was close to beating it. There's a 23rd win, so we do have more wins than Shankly was saying. And then we're down to our last 5 games. So we're not going to be able to hit 30 wins, but we could still hit 28 wins if we win all 5. But I don't think that's going to happen. 25 wins, I think, would be great. If we could win 2 of these last 5 games, that would be a pretty solid season by comparison to last year. Even though last year was really great. So let's see what we do in these last few games. Can we get a couple wins in this? Yes, we do get one, and we get 2 to get to 25 wins. We do exactly what I wanted. So we finished 25-50-7 in year 5. That's pretty solid. 57 points, which is not the worst in the league, because you can see the Preds have 52 wins. Or not 52 wins, 52 points. So we finished 5 points up on the worst team in the NHL. We were not the worst for the first time in franchise history. Oh, yes, let's go. Mauricio Wilm is a monster. 115 points on a team with only 25 wins. Holy crap. Like, this guy's definitely been probably one of my best players I've ever had early on. Like, he's only a few years into his career. Like, I think this is year 5 of his career, right? Because we drafted him in year 1. And he's already got 2 100-point seasons. He's got 65 goals this year. Holy moly. Considering the team only scored 2 goals also in the last 2 games of the year, that's unreal. He could have hit 70 goals if this team was much better. God damn. Yeah, Mauricio Wilm is the real deal here. I am glad I have him locked up. We're going to have to definitely give him a ton of money once his 8-year deal is done, though. I'm kind of scared about that, but let's take a look at the standings and player stats. So, obviously, we were not the worst team in the league, but we were definitely not close to the best. Yeah, see, 5 points up on the Preds, who finished below us. We are actually pretty close to LA and San Jose, but after that, there's still a pretty big gap. So, we do still have a lot of work to do, but I am very happy the fact that we did not finish dead last this year. Goals for per game, we were not one of the best offensive teams, but we were kind of getting closer to mid-table. Maybe like 20th, 22nd. I think most of the goal scoring, though, is Wilm because of the fact he had 115 points on 248 goals for, which is more than half almost, or actually not more than half. It's like around half. That's crazy. And he had 65 of our 248 goals, so that's like literally a third of our goals, or a fourth of our goals, I think, which is unreal. Goals against per game wise, yeah, this is still where we struggle. 4.37, but that's actually not that bad. It's actually kind of getting closer and closer to being an NHL caliber defense. So I'll take that. Power play percentage wise, looks like our power play was pretty good, and that's probably what helped out Mauricio Wilm quite a bit too. It wasn't the best, but I mean mid-table around, I would take that. Penalty kill percentage still looks hot garbage. Yeah, 72.8. Penalty kill definitely could use some work, but also can our defense. 3 shorthanded goals this year, nice. And then 13 wins on home ice and only 12 on the road. 3-6-1 in our last 10 games. I like it. Now the question is, did anybody else hit 100 points? If Wilm hit 100 points, Did Lehman hit 100 points? Did Ahinen hit 100 points? They had to have at least came close, my guess. Unless Wilm is just completely helping everybody else out. And no, they didn't hit 100 points. I can see that right now. But holy crap, Wilm. He's a +4. We had a plus player on a team with only 25 wins. You love to see it. Wilm, a plus player for the first time in his career. And he is 1 point under point per game now at this place. Unreal. Goes from 40 points to 63 to 90 to 101 and then up to 115. Jeez, man. This guy's crazy. He's already up to 2 shorthanded goals. He's got 9 game winning goals. And we've only won, I don't know how much games now. Because Ezra didn't update me. But I think it's probably, yeah, I think we probably like around 50 wins. Maybe 60 wins through all our years. And he's already got 9 of those game winners. Let's go, Mauricio. What a goat. What a goat. And then Liam Ahinen in his second season had 97 points. Holy shit, man. You just have to put him with the right players and he's going to do great. Like, look at that. He's over a point per game already at 19 years of age. He's only got 28 goals, but 145 assists. Let's go. He's going to want so much money probably because he's playing with such great players, but I don't blame him. And Vitaly Sherov is literally doing what I wanted him to do. That's what you want from a guy that's only making $1.96 million. Absolute steal of a contract. That's what I was banking on when I gave him that 8-year deal. 3 goals only, but 50 assists this year. And he was on the second power play unit, so shout out to Sherov. I think his nickname should be the Sheriff. Because Sherov sounds like sheriff almost, but Russian. I like that a lot from Vitaly. Let's go. Stajan had 38 points. Not the best, but I mean, the fact that we're still paying him only just under $2 million for 8 years, I'll take that. 38 points is definitely helpful for like a third line guy. He had 6 power play goals too, so half of his goals were on the power play, but I'll still take it. Grabovski, 20 points, minus 23. He's probably one of these guys that's going to get replaced very soon. Markov, 19 points, minus 24. Finley, 14 points, minus 22. Yeah, these 3 guys are probably ones that aren't in my long-term picture for sure, just because they don't really have the potential. Left wing wise, Alan Lehman had only 34 goals this year, so he declined goal scoring wise, but it's probably because Wilm took over the goal scoring department, my guess. But he does pick up 88 points, which is really, really solid. More than last year, and he was +7. Yeah, Lehman's a beast too. It kind of sucks that his goal scoring fell off, but he should be able to still hit 50 goal seasons very, very soon. He also had 2 shorthanded goals this year, so I'll take that. And then solid season from Petterman. He's still kind of taking his time a little bit to develop. 30 points, 17 goals, up to a 71. I don't really know if he becomes that great of a player for a top 6 forward, but oh well. He was a second-round pick. He's still solid at producing at least, so maybe he'll be kind of more of a third liner at best for us, but I still like him. Ponikarovsky, 35 points, minus 50. Obviously, he's kind of getting less and less ice time, but he's still producing at a solid level for his overall, so I will take that from Ponikarovsky. He hasn't really developed much. And then Pittin and Smirnoff are also guys that would probably get replaced at some stage. Both of them had 22 points, which is not really that bad. Defensively, this is going to be interesting to see where Marshall Boys did, or Maddox Boys, not Marshall Boys. Who was Marshall Boys? Was that a guy in one of my old series? I feel like it was, but I can't be wrong. Maddox Boys had a pretty good season. 34 points this year, 9 goals, 25 assists, so pretty much on par with what Nick was saying about goal scoring and assist-wise. How was he in the hitting department and blocking department? Blocked a lot of shots. Didn't throw a lot of hits for his size, which is kind of interesting, but does block a lot of shots, which I like. And then Paul Mayer, 29 points. Not bad. Not bad at all. He's a 76 overall, so he might be kind of a serviceable top 6 defenseman for us still for quite some time until we replace him. Dimitra, 25 points, minus 24. Pretty solid. Yeah, he's going to maybe just stay around this overall, but he's a good shutdown demon to have for our team. Kolesnik, 24 points, not bad. He's an 86 still, but that's okay because we got him already locked up on a long-term deal. MLM, 11 points, not bad. And Palin, only 6 points. Oh, man, I feel bad for Palin. Less power play time means less production, but Yeah, he's just gotten worse and worse each year. He's probably going to be out soon. Like, this could be his last season with us. Minus 600 in 410 games. That's kind of nuts. Yeah, this might be Palin's last year. So, that's unfortunate, but it's part of the business with these drafted glories. Goaltending-wise, 19 wins from Nikitin. Wow. Pretty good. An 885 at 4.43. Not the best stat line, but 19 wins is great. Yeah, he's starting to build up a little bit more wins. He's at least only got one shutout. We didn't get a shutout this season. Last year we did. And then Dave Cameron had 7 wins, 15 losses, 1 OT loss, an 892 and a 3.93. He's still developing a bit. But our goaltending core kind of still needs work. Nikitin's not bad, but obviously like Cameron as a backup isn't really cutting it. He's 23 now and not even a 70. So we might need to still look for more goalie prospects here in this upcoming draft. Let's take a look at stats around the league. Did Wilm win on like an Art Ross though? That would be interesting if Wilm won an Art Ross on a team that hasn't even made the playoffs yet. Let's see. And he did not, no. He came close. He came close. He was only 10 points back of McKinnon, Matthews, Nylander, and Mitch Marner finished in first. Of course, that Leafs line is completely cracked in this game for some reason. Did Wilm win the Maurice Richard? I think he might have already won a Richard. He did. Let's go. He beat on Austin Matthews by a goal. Let's go. Wilm has already got a Richard on a team that only had 25 wins in its peak. That is pretty amazing. Yeah, Wilm might be already a channel legend at this point and already solidified himself as a channel Hall of Famer, even though we are very far away from when I add players to my Hall of Fame from this series. Amazing. You see all these players, though, that are up here? All these players are probably on playoff teams because their plus-minus is great. And then you have Wilm, who's only a +4, but had 115 points. 20 power play goals. That might have led the league as well. Yeah, that tied with Connor McDavid for the most power play goals. Love to see it. Let's take a look at potential Selke candidates. Wilm didn't take enough face-offs, but he probably could win Selke's literally if we had him down the middle instead of Ahinen. That would be interesting. Stützle is probably the guy to win it. Always fights for fun. Nick Delorier with 10 fights. Same with Tanner Jeannot. Best defenseman this year. Cale Makar with 97 points. Adam Fox behind him. Looks like Colorado's pretty good this year. Goaltending-wise, the best goalie for wins was Kochetkov in Carolina. Most shutouts by a starter. Korpisalo in Vegas now. Interesting. Save percentage-wise was Sorokin with a 917. And goals against average by a starter was Vasilevsky with a 264. Devin Levi also up there. Any goalie goals for fun? No, there was 2 goalie goals in the season. I don't think I've seen that before. Driedger scored a goal and UC Saros. I can see Saros scoring, but Chris Driedger randomly scoring is kind of random. Because he's a backup goalie, so he doesn't even play that much games usually. Damn. Okay, wasn't expecting 2 goalie goals. Best rookie this year was Gavin McKenna with 63 points. Obviously, he fell to 8th overall randomly, but he still wins Rookie of the Year likely. Then Terry Nichols, who went 1st overall, I think. Yeah, 1st overall. Came 2nd in points. Not bad. Boys was top 10 in rookie points as a defenseman. He was the 2nd best defender, only behind Axel Sandin Pellikka, who's a real player, and Emmanuel Dodge, who I don't know when he was drafted. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, actually, at this point. Jeez. Okay. Not too bad at all. Actually, to take a look at where our AHLers did as well, like, because we did have some guys in the minors this year. So let's see. Rolson was good this year. Not really developing, so he might be only an AHLer from here on out. Same with Kizhiznikov, not much. Actually, 54 points as a 7th defenseman is actually pretty remarkable. So, I'll take that. Watton had 24 goals this year. He's up to a 66. He might be back to the NHL soon, which is good. Wolniski, 42 points. Ranford, 40 points. McLaren, who's in rookie, 37 points. Not bad. All of our guys that we drafted are up there in points, and then afterwards it's the guys that were just filling out the AHL, which is kind of funny. Huh. What about goaltending-wise? Frederick goalie was actually pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty solid. He's up to a 65. Yeah, pretty solid season for Frederick. Okay, so there's our player stats and the team stats around the league. Let's assimilate up to, obviously, the retirements, the cup winners, all that stuff. find out where we are drafting in 2028 and what the actual draft looks like too. Because who knows, this might be a good draft class to help build up our team a little bit more. I think we definitely still need to target defense and goaltending, but we could always go for more forwards to fill out that depth more. But it's up to you guys based on what this class is looking like, which we'll see in a little bit. Hopefully it's a pretty solid draft though when we get to it in next episode. Rangers fire their head coach, okay. And Toronto wins the Stanley Cup. Isn't that the second time in a row that they've won the Cup? I know they've been to multiple Cup finals already in this series. Let's see. Who did they win over? And we'll take a look at their roster. They beat the Jets in the finals in 5 games. The Winnipeg Jets. Let's take a look at both Toronto and Winnipeg. Just because you guys might ask me about this. So we might as well look at it. So here's Toronto. Very similar roster to what they currently have. But they did bring in Alex Killorn, who won in year 1 with Anaheim. And was a Conn Smythe winner, I'm pretty sure. Verano is there as well now. Connor Sheary. So some new pieces in Toronto. Joe Veleno. But still a very solid foundation from the past. What about goalie-wise? Still the same goaltending. That's kind of surprising, to be honest. Let's take a look at the Jets. Pretty similar roster, but they do have Tara Vinen. Tyson Jost. I feel like we've seen the Jets in the finals already at this point, too. I gotta definitely take a look when we look at the award winners. Yeah, because I remember looking at Goss's Bear there, I think. Let's take a look and see. Let's see. So, yeah, Toronto wins its second Stanley Cup of the series in the last 5 years. So, yeah, second of the series. Toronto's been to 3 Cup finals, I think, as well. Maybe? Maybe not. They won 2 President's Trophies, and they've won 2 Stanley Cups. That's kind of surprising. And then, yeah, Winnipeg's been to 2 Cup finals as well. 2027-28 and 2025-26. And then, yeah, Toronto's been to 3 Cup finals already in these 5 years. So, Toronto is definitely the team to beat at this rate. Interesting. AHL, actually, we want to go to individual awards first. Marner this, Marner that. We've seen that a lot. Cale McCarr Norris. Artemi Panarin the Lady Bing. Gavin McKenna wins the Calder. Austin Matthews won the Conn Smythe this year. Vasilevsky, his 2nd straight Vezina Trophy. Devin Levi wins the Jennings. Kolesnik wins the Masterton for us, so that's his 2nd Masterton, so shout out to Kolesnik. Vegas' coach wins the Jack Adams. Elias Lindholm the Selke. Lindsay goes to Mitch Marner as well, and there it is. Mauricio Wilm has taken home the Maurice Richard on a non-playoff team. Unreal. Unreal. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. That's going to go down in this team's history. I should actually go to the no face cam screen for a second just so you guys can see it fully. Looks amazing. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Okay, let's go to AHL awards, see if any of our AHL guys got any awards. That Robert guy that went pretty high in the draft was apparently really cracked in the AHL. So there's that. Any AHL awards for our team? No. It's pretty much all Robrick. Okay, so there is that. Now the question is, where are we drafting in this year's draft? Did we finally win a draft lottery, or are we going to still be getting the cheese and drafting at number 3 or something like that? Hopefully we could get a player to help us. And we do actually finish at 3rd, because we fell back from 2nd to 3rd. Nashville stays at 1, of course, because we don't have 1st this year. Nashville just stays at their spot, but Dallas moves from 8 to 2. That sucks a lot. But I'll still take a 3rd overall pick any day. So let's take a look at the retired players briefly. Not that we have any retirements, but Malkin retires, Tavares retires, Wheeler, a lot of big players. Panarin already retires at 1,000 games played, but he is 36, so I guess that makes sense. Damn, pretty big retirement class. Killorn retires as a 2-time Stanley Cup champion after leaving Tampa. So, won a lot of cups in his career. So there's that. Goalie-wise, the best goalie retired, Jacob Markstrom, Cam Talbot, if you could even call him a good goalie. So there is that. Okay. And TJ Oshie's now a coach, and same with Jamie Benn. Okay. Coach retirement wise, I don't think we lost anybody. I think we might have lost an AHLer, but that's okay. Oh yeah, we got to do maybe some draft interviews. We got to maybe do some draft interviews here. Oh, wow. Left wing power forward's going 1st overall, and Tuukka Kuda. What a name. I don't think we're going to be able to get him because he's going to go 1st overall. But the good thing for us is second and third, they're supposed to be defenders. So we should be able to address our defensive help by getting ourselves another defender. Mark Dezay is likely going second overall, which means we won't be able to get a two-way defenseman, but we might be able to get ourselves another shutdown guy in JC. Apparently he's like Al McInnes, and he's got truculence, which is interesting. Heavy slap shot, that's probably why he's like Al McInnes. So JC is probably going to end up being our pick because we do need the defensive help. But if we wanted to go off the board, I don't want to go for a top 4 defenseman. Aiden Cardwell's there as well. Yeah, there's a lot of defenders in this draft. That's actually a pretty good sign. Let's just take a look at some later round picks and see if there's any... Ooh. Is this Nylander guy really that good? He's not a medium franchise for sure, but I think we might have to interview him. He's probably going to be like a high elite goalie or medium elite. So I don't know if it's even worth interviewing him. But let me just look through this list here. See if we could see any late round steals. There's a guaranteed medium elite goaltender in Norin, and we'll pin him for sure, because we could use some goaltending help. There's maybe a medium elite left winger. Colby Peckham. Ooh, 2 years out. Colby Peckham as a second round pick, I'd definitely take him. Based on those categories, potentially, he looks like he's going to be a very solid offensive player. He's listed as a gem as well, so he could be a low elite, which would be good. Even though we kind of need to address defense and goaltending more, I would love to have some more good goal scoring on our team. Moroza might be decent, considering he's maybe got the 4-year ETA. Maybe I should interview him. Joe Naronic. Is there any guaranteed low elites already, though? Let's see. No. No guaranteed low elites. Matthew Poirier, 3 years out, probably a top 4. Triff, 3 years out, probably a top 6 forward, maybe. Hedekin. Yeah, not really sold on some of these guys that might be low elite here. Okay. Let me go back to my pin for a second here. And let's interview Moroza, Peckham, and... Wait, who was the other goaltender that was up there that was maybe really good? In Nylander. Let's pin him as well. And yeah, let's interview those 3 guys that aren't confirmed yet so we can find out a little bit more about them. But I know this episode might be a little bit longer, but it is what it is. And hopefully my voice doesn't sound too boring right now because of the fact I am very tired and my voice is just very sore from yesterday. Well, 2 days ago, I guess, when you guys see this video. But let's see. Readiness. Couple seasons away. Play style. This is the defenseman. Okay, so he's a 2-way in Moroza. I like that because we can use some more offense from our back end. Let's find out his greatest strength as well. What is your greatest strength there, Moroza? We had a Moroza in Anchorage, I think. So his skating, apparently. Love to see it. Good skating 2-way defenseman. So there is Yuri Moroza, the Russian. 3 years out. He might be a top 4. There's no guaranteed on that. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be a good pick or not. Let's interview the goaltender now in Per Nylander. He's probably going to just be a medium elite, but might as well interview him anyways, because we could use all the goalie prospects we could get, in a sense. Let's see your greatest strength as a goaltender. His vision, okay. Well, that's a good thing to have, good vision. Obviously, if you had poor vision and you were a goaltender, then you probably wouldn't be able to make a save. Readiness, and we'll do play style as well. A lot of learning to do. Probably a 5-year out medium elite, which means he's probably a very low overall. I guess like a 48. And he's a hybrid goaltender. Not a surprise, because almost everybody's a hybrid goalie these days. So there is Per Nylander. Did we find out enough about him to get that potential more up there? No, not really. Yeah, he's probably like a 48 overall medium elite, my guess. And then Peckham is the very intriguing one here. We don't know his player type, so I'm going to try and find out a little bit about that for sure. So let's see what type of player he is in his ETA, and then also his greatest strength, and then hopefully that helps us confirm that potential. He's a 2-way forward. Okay. Well, that's okay. I'll take a 2-way forward any day. We could always use some more low elite 2-way forwards. Few seasons away, so might be 3 years out. I just don't want him to be a low top 6. I hope that he's a low elite. Let's see, what is your greatest strength there? Colby? It is his shot. Okay, he's got a good shot, which is great for a two-way forward. Brings in some offense then, and goal scoring ability from maybe like a third line. So I will take that. So Colby Peckham might honestly be our second round pick. Our first rounder probably ends up being Sea-Doo. And afterwards, we could probably look at one of these goaltenders if you guys want, which probably Norinen would probably be the better option, it looks like on paper. So probably these three guys for sure. And then afterwards, I honestly don't know what we go after. Probably more defenders to help build out our defensive core a bit. But should be a solid draft for us nonetheless. Final few things we got to do is look at the progress reports and the contract situation. So let's do that quickly, starting off with the contracts. Who is up for renewal this offseason? Mayor and stuff like that. These guys are probably going to have to be qualified again for another year or just offered a one-year deal for now. Petterman, yeah, Petterman's not going to grow, I don't think. If he wants only an 8-year deal at 1.85, he's probably not going to develop. But we should be able to get some of these guys like Watton back on a two-way deal, which is good. But yeah, we don't have that big of an offseason in terms of re-signing players since we already gave Lehman his contract, which is nice. Let's go to the progress report, see if we got any good development. Oh man, okay. Okay, I was not expecting that. So, Liam Ahonen has jumped to an 89. A lot of statistical growth still with him, so he might be lower, but there is also a lot of natural growth. He has developed, I think, maybe some more X factors. Yeah, I think he has. I don't remember for sure, but I think he's developed X factors. I could be completely wrong with that, but I don't remember what he had when we drafted him. Sherov is still developing based on statistical. His poise is getting better. His face-offs is drastically improving. This guy's really great. Surprised he hasn't developed an X factor yet, but he is listed as a third-line scoring forward now, which is pretty cool. Pitten's getting growth. Watton's getting growth. Pretty much everybody on this team is getting some growth. Kolesnik as well. He's becoming that elite shutdown defenseman. I love to see it. Lehman is getting some growth as well, mostly in the statistical department. Yeah, everybody seems to be growing on this team well. Boys is up to an 82. Love to see it. That's going to help us out next year. Mostly statistical as well, but some natural for him. Yeah, I'm very excited for the upcoming season. I think this team definitely should hit 30 wins next year, depending on our defense and goaltending. Oh, I didn't take a look at Sonnenberg. I forgot that we drafted him. How did he do in the AHL? Not bad. He actually picked up a shutout, so that's good. He's up to a 51 now. So Sonnenberg is still the future of our goaltending, but he's definitely a long shot, medium elite, my guess. But we are seeing some good growth from our prospects, even though guys we left unsigned, like Eric Wilson, for example. Oh yeah, there was a guy that we sent back to junior. I wonder how good he is now. I wonder how good he is. Where is the dude? I think he's a center, right? Oh yeah, there he is. Caden, no, it's not Caden McGinn. It's Dan Mason. He's up to a 66. I think he was only a 65 last year. Hopefully this guy develops. He might be thrown into our lineup next year just because he didn't really get much development back in juniors. So I might honestly have him in the NHL lineup next year. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to another offseason. We'll add some more good pieces to this team and still build up this foundation of the roster. And yeah, I'm very excited for future years, considering Wilm just won a Maurice Richard and had 115 points on a team with only 25 wins. I think the sky is the limit for that top line, and I hope that we can get Ahonen also re-signed on a very solid contract as well when his time comes. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.